Qala dhalika ma kunna nabghi fartadda ala atharihima qasasan. Suratul-Kahfi, Surah number 18, ayat 64. Qala, he said, dhalika, that, ma is what, kunna, we were, nabghi, desirably seeking. Fartadda, so they returned, ala atharihima, following the footsteps, qasasan, retracing step by step. Simple, isn't it? Not quite. This is immensely complex. The translation, how that Arabic construct comes together in a beautiful manner. Until I explain, you have no clue what I'm talking about. So to translate this was so very challenging, and I'll explain now why it was so. Qala, he said, Musa al-Islam said, the conversation is being carried forward between him and Joshua al-Islam. Dhalika ma kunna, that is what we were. This part is relatively easy. Kunna is, kana was he was, and kunna means we were, the plural of that. That is what we were. Nabghi, bagha, yabghi, to seek, to desire. In the present tense, that is what we were desirably seeking. That is what we were seeking. That is what we were desiring. The desire is in the heart of Musa alayhi salam to meet with Khizr alayhi salam. So we just got the two words together because that intent is there. That is what we were desirably seeking. And there is another rhetorical aspect to that, why it highlights desirably. So why both the words are actually required to get the essence of what Musa alayhi salam is trying to convey. That is what we were desirably seeking. Fartadda. Fa, so. Irtadda, so from radda, to return, it's emphasized. So they returned. So they returned is verb form 8. So they returned, and he could also suggest they retraced. Both the meanings would be applicable, but I have to choose one word. This is a verb, right? So I have to choose one word. It's emphasized, so we have to have an exclamation mark at the end, which I have done. So they returned, so they retraced. The retrace I'll bring back later, and how that has another sort of implication. It's immensely complex and tied together. The Arabic seems simple, but the English, to relive what is mentioned in the Arabic, is very challenging indeed. Ala atharihima. So they returned following the footsteps, not quite simple. Following their athar, their footsteps. What does athar mean? We hear the words, the terms, the sunnah of the Prophet Mohammed sallallahu alaihi wasallam and the athar of the Sahaba. The athar of the Sahaba literally means their statements, just as sunnah means the statements of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But sunnah does not really mean the statements, though we understand it that way. It means the way of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Sunnah is a general term. It is applicable. It can be made, it is applicable. It can be applicable to anyone. So we can have the sunnah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We can have the sunnah of Iblis. We have the sunnah, which today has commonly been used to refer to the sunnah of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, which is okay. So athar, the statements of the Sahaba, the companions, but not quite. Similar to Sunnah, this term has its own sort of roots and origins, which basically means to track, to trace, sign, mark. So now we understand the sense of athar, the sign of the companions, the mark of the companions, to trace what they said, to track, so all of these. So in this context, following their, so they're retracing, right? They're retracing. So to trace, so following their footprints, because just now they had walked and passed by the junction of the two seas, so they have to retrace it back. So again, the retrace is again coming through from the word athar as well. But retracing the footsteps we could have used, retracing their footsteps or footprints we could have used, but we have used following their footprints because retracing we want to bring it back, and that retracing is already implied through irtadda, radda, right? Again, the retracing word is coming up over here, second time. Following their footsteps, footprints. I've used footprints because step, we want to bring it back again. You can see the complexity, following the footprints. That's why we have following the footprints, because the word step will appear in the last part. So they returned, following the footprints. Remember, the word retraces have already appeared twice implicitly, but we are holding it back because it will appear for the third time, and then we will explain. So they returned, following the footprints, qasasan. Now, what is qasasan? Qasas, what is qasas? We heard the word qisas, which means story. Qasas means story. So what is it doing over here then? So qasas and qisas are related terms, but qasas is more profound, a more powerful narrative, a more powerful mechanism of storytelling, a more powerful storytelling. Qisas is story, qasas is a more powerful way of storytelling. So what happens in qasas? How is it different from qisas? When you have a movie, when you have a film, what makes it powerful? There is a build up to the story. So that step-by-step approach. So that is why I have used retracing step-by-step. That element in storytelling, that step-by-step element, the step-by-step nature, that element of storytelling step-by-step, building up to the climax is one of the inherent or intrinsic properties of a powerful storytelling mechanism. The word step-by-step is coming back again. That is why I used footprints, not footsteps. It could have done footsteps as well. Again, what does retracing, the third implication over here, what does the third implication of, how does retracing come back again for a third time? In qasas, in a powerful storytelling, what happens is sometimes there is a flow and then you go into flashback mode. And that flashback mode of storytelling is again a very powerful element of storytelling. That is what makes it a qasas rather than a qisas. So that flashback, you're retracing the past and going back and again sort of connecting the dots. Some things they leave deliberately open-ended and then explain it through a flashback. This is what happened. So retracing is coming back again, qasasan. Retracing step by step. Step by step is coming from footprints as well. Retracing is coming from threefolds. And again, just now they had passed, right? Passed beyond that point, the junction of the two seas. And so they're retracing it back and they're doing it step by step. And we are narrating the story too as we are describing the events. It's not just any ordinary narration. It's a very powerful narration that we are narrating it to you. I hope I was able to do justice to the very powerful words and how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has used the language to put things together and connect things together. It's amazing. I cannot replicate that. It is my honest and humble attempt to do that. And I hope that I've been able to do it better than what any other translation till date captures. I've seen the translation, so I can say that confidently, but then it was complex to make an attempt to do that. So that is it. We'll read it one more time. قَالَ ذَلِكَ مَا كُنَّا نَبْغِي فَارْتَدَّ عَلَىٰ آثَارِهِمَا قَصَصًا. He said, that is what we were desirably seeking. So they returned, following the footprints, retracing step by step.